ask that you keep yourself muted during the presentation, but you're more than welcome to unmute yourself during question time, or feel free to put your questions in the chat and I will relay them to Jenny. If anyone would like a copy of today's recording, please feel free to email me at communications@paro.ca. And if anyone is interested in learning more about our November 18th event here about thriving through transformation in AGM, please go to paroreimagine.ca. So today's presentation, let me pull up my notes, sorry. I got multiple screens today, is presented today by Jenny Chandler on Do You Need a Virtual Assistant? So Jenny owns and operates Simple Desk, there we go, a small business support company in Trenton, Ontario. Her passion, drive, and success are all goals she strives to help her clients achieve. She takes great joy in helping others succeed and realize their dreams. So Jenny, it's all yours. Take it away.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for showing up. I'm just gonna share my screen here. Actually, first off, if you guys wanted to pop in the chat, have any of you ever had a virtual assistant before?
To be able to press on and grab, to pray until something happens.
Oh, okay. So we're all new today. Share my screen. Okay, so as Carly said, sorry, Kylie, today's presentation is a virtual assistant right for you? So I own Simple Desk in Trenton, Ontario, as she said. So this is my team. Shay is my client manager. Amanda in the middle here is our admin assistant, and Teresa is our head of marketing. We do have some contractors that work with us as well. And basically I couldn't do any of this without all of these wonderful women. So that's a bit about us. I started back in 2019. I was working in industrial sales, and it was really not for me. So I was working in that for about 6 years, and I finally got to the point where I was like, I really want to start a business and I need to use my skills and I want to be able to help people. And that's when Simple Desk was born. Okay, so what we will be presenting today. So what a VA does, the benefits of a VA, how to find a VA, your processes that you will need or will have your VA create for you, finding the right fit, pricing, and the onboarding process for your virtual assistant. Okay. So just to start off, what is a virtual assistant? It's a person who provides remote support services to your business. And they're like your little secret weapon in your back pocket that helps you get through the day-to-day. You shouldn't be spending time doing the monotonous tasks that you can offload to someone else at a much lower price. So you can be working in what I call your zone of genius. Basically the reason you started your business, right? You didn't sign on for your business. Let's say you were a massage therapist. You want to be doing the work. That's what you love doing. You didn't decide, hey, I really want to do some bookkeeping and I want to create all this marketing stuff. That's basically where you would go, what you would offload to your virtual assistant. Okay, so so they offer like an amazingly diverse set of services. So every business is different. And so every, I guess, service from a virtual assistant is going to be slightly different and tailored to your business. And so when you're looking for a virtual assistant, you can have the virtual assistants that specialize in specific items, like let's say web design or marketing, or ones that would specialize in bookkeeping or any other amount of services that you're looking for. So you want to just make sure that you're looking for the right virtual assistant. What exactly do you need them for? So this individual is already trained for you, they're experienced, and they're highly skilled. So when you are, let's say bookkeeping, because everybody hates bookkeeping except for me. So it's going to take you probably 2 to 3 times longer to do your bookkeeping than it is to have your VA do it, because she does it every day and she's skilled and she's trained, and you're actually probably going to be paying her half of what your hourly rate would be. So in the long run, you're saving yourself money, and you're saving yourself time you could be spending with your family or doing other things like, I don't know, drinking wine. I don't know. So yeah, so they are highly skilled individuals, specific to what it is that you're looking for. So this is just a list of some of the things that they could do for you, but really the list is endless. So we do a lot of social media management, and the bookkeeping and design. Recently, we've had a lot of clients who are moving to online courses. So we're doing the sales page, we're doing the email sequences, we're setting up the entire course for them, and they're basically just filming and giving us their content. So we set that up in the back end, and then we monitor it monthly and take care of it from there. So yeah, and creation of blogs, like a lot of people don't have the time to spend writing content for blogs every week, which is going to help the SEO on your website. So everybody's wants to have blogs on their website, but don't necessarily have time. So that is where we would come in there. But yes, there is, this is a small list, but there is all different kinds of things that they could do for you. So we have one client out of Nova Scotia, and she was basically running her beauty spa type thing, and she was doing microblading and stuff like that. So she was working all the weekends doing her admin and client callbacks and like all that stuff. And she wasn't having time to spend with her 3-year-old son. So she came to us and we took that on, and she was getting to spend her weekends off instead of doing all the extra things. So she was just working in her business, not on her business. We were doing that for her, and she had time for her family. So that's kind of where the virtual assistant comes in. That's not the only reason you would get a virtual assistant. We'll go over that in a bit, but yeah, that's one of our client stories. So I just put together a few stats. So because of the pandemic, I feel like before virtual assistant wasn't like a big thing, people always wanted someone in-house. And because the pandemic changed everything and people were forced to do it that way. And I feel like a lot of people realize that that's easier and it's cheaper and it's better for you. So it's taken off a lot in the last year or so. But yeah, a lot of people do prefer working from home. So that's where you see a lot of the new virtual assistants coming on the scene. And yes, outsourcing industry is now over 105 billion. That's it's a little crazy. Does anybody have any questions so far? No? You can unmute yourself if you have a question. No? Okay. Okay, so the benefits of a virtual assistant. So you'll have a verified expert you can hire in no time. So there's no training this person. You don't have to walk them through step by step. They already know how to do things. Most times they know how to do it better than you do. So that's one tip. they're time savers and they don't waste the time training them. So someone who you brought on yourself, you would be training them and it would probably take them about 3 months to get used to how to do everything. So that would be a full 3 months you were paying that person just to train them, whereas a virtual assistant is already ready to go. So yes, they stay focused on the one task that you've given them. They're not bouncing around to task. If someone was in your office and they had to answer the phone, or someone came through the door, they would always be pulled away. And I think the statistic is it takes 23 minutes to get back on task after someone is pulled away from the task they're working on. So every time they're pulled away, that's 23 minutes wasted that they have to take to get back on task. So you don't have to pay the taxes and the employee costs, which are climbing. So EI benefits, their sick benefits, sick days, holidays, you don't have to pay for those. And then you also have no overhead or space costs. So you don't have to have a larger office to house all these people. You could work from your home if you're a solopreneur, and these people have their own space and they have to pay those expenses. That's not on you. Okay, so I went over this a little bit, but yeah, your pros and cons are more productivity, increased efficiency. You can scale your business faster because you have this person who's doing these things for you, and you can focus on your strategy and how you're moving forward. And when you have that strategy, you can actually have your virtual assistant implement that for you. So it's flexible. Say you wanted to take, I don't know, a vacation. That never happens. You could have your virtual assistant take over a lot of these tasks so that you could take that vacation and have that extra time. And yes, their expertise. Most of the time, you don't have that expertise that they have. And they've spent many years working in the field, so they know. And of course, the overhead. So the cons of a virtual assistant, they may not be available at a moment's notice because they do have other clients, but they generally will set that out beforehand and they'll say, okay, these are my terms of service. I will respond to your request within 3 hours, or after 5 p.m. it will be next business day, kind of thing like that. So you will know, but they're not available at the drop of a hat. So you won't receive all their time, obviously, because they do have other clients, unless you're willing to pay that price to have them full time. And they're not available to meet in person. So, well, they could be, depending on where you get your virtual assistant from. But I know a lot of people used to really want to meet that person face to face, but nowadays there really isn't much need for it. We're constantly on Zoom anyways, and everybody started doing the nice to e-meet you. I noticed this a lot in emails. So you can meet them through Zoom, but not necessarily in person. So yeah, if everybody wants to drop into the chat, let us know what's your biggest time suck. What's the thing that you would love to offload to someone else? Anyone? How and when do you know when you're ready to hire a VA? Okay, so I'm actually going to get into that right this second. So we will start there. So if your business is holding you hostage and you are feeling like there is not enough hours in the day, that's when you should hire a virtual assistant. So if you find you can't get to the things that are increasing your revenues, moving the mark on your business because you're weighed down with all this other stuff, that's when you should consider hiring a VA. If you don't have the skills that your business needs, that's when you should consider a VA. So if you don't know the first thing about marketing, you have a great product and you want to move it forward, but you don't have those marketing skills, that's when you should look into a marketing VA. Bookkeeping. Although I love it. It takes a lot of time. I love bookkeeping too. Yes, VAs can do lead gen for you. Contacts in CRM, how do they get info if it's in my email? Okay, so a virtual assistant will actually have access to everything they need. So if you have emails coming into your email, they can go in there, they can sort through and say, okay, these ones are for me. They can flag the ones that you need to email, and they can take the ones and that they need and just do that work for you. And yes, they can expand your network. So what we do is we actually get into some groups and we start commenting as under the client's account and imparting knowledge and giving, yes, any freebies or anything. So that gets them on the forefront, and that will be lead gen for you, or however you wish to do it. You may have a process that you want done, and the VA can actually do that for you. Yeah, social media and newsletters, that's a big one for our company. We get a lot of those. So social media, I find there's a lot of people who get there and they sit in front of their computer for like an hour or two, like, is this right? Is that right? And they waste all this time just because they're uncertain. Whereas a VA could go in there and probably within an hour or two be creating like 6 posts. Just because they know and they're skilled and they do it every day. So they have that expertise. Okay, so yes, you spread more time on administrative tasks than your core business itself. So if all day long you're answering emails and you are, I don't know, doing bookkeeping and anything of that nature, but you can't actually get to the stuff that pushes your business forward, that's where you will need a virtual assistant. And this one is my favorite. If your business is a hot mess, if you cannot find anything and your files are all over the place and you're just always scattered looking for things, you can hire a virtual assistant to come in and clean that up for you and create a process, which we will touch on in a minute here. So yes, if your business is at a point where you need to take it to the next level and you're no longer able to add more hours to your day, that virtual assistant will take on those things so you can scale your business and take it to the next level. So this one is me. I have all kinds of ideas and I'm like, ooh, this is the best idea ever. Teresa actually created an idea tracker for me because I had so many ideas. So if you have ideas and you're short on execution, that's when you should hire the virtual assistant, because you can tell them, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it. And away you go. And then, you know, you do your check-in to see if it's going how you want it. And it's completely taken off your plate, and you can work on the other things that move your business forward. So do we have any other questions that I'm missing? No? Okay. Okay, so business processes. Every business should have processes. I can't stress this enough. So the process is the lifeline for the business. So if you were hospitalized or, you know, couldn't come to work or anything happened, and you have all your processes up here, your business will fall apart. And so that's why business process is like, you have to have processes for your business. So a virtual assistant can either come in and take over those processes because you've already created them and just move the business forward, or you can have your virtual assistant create them for you. Sometimes the virtual assistant being on the outside it's a little bit better because they can see they're not in it. They can maybe give you some tips or pointers on what could be changed, what's more streamlined. Essentially, it is up to you what you want the process to be. But sometimes when you're inside the business, you don't see things for what they are. So they would be able to help you with that as well. And they would be able to sort it all out, document it, and save it in an orderly fashion so anybody can find it and use it. Okay, so you want to identify what tasks are important to your larger business goals. It's going to improve your efficiency and streamline your communication. So basically, you want every client to get the same service. If you don't have a process and say, John does it this way and Joe does it this way, this client gets this amazing service and this one gets some subpar service. So if we had the processes in place, both of them would be following them step by step and everyone would get the same service. That's just an example. So yeah, so it prevents the chaos from creeping in. So if you're all over the place and you don't know where you're going and you don't know what step you're at, and has this client received this? Have we done that for that client? It just takes away from your operations and it wastes more time. Okay, and so then you have a standardized set of procedures to complete every task that really matters in the business. So anybody could come into your business and they could say, okay, these are the processes and this is where I start, this is where I end, and it's all done uniform, the same, exactly the way you want it. So you don't have to hold anybody's hand. So this is a sample process. So I start by laying out the tools and templates that we would need for the process at the top, and then we do a step-by-step. So I know our clients, they get their contract, they sign off on it. Once they sign off, we send an email to book their onboarding kickoff meeting. We send them a handwritten thank you note. We have pretty cards that say thanks for being awesome, and we send those out to people. I think it's just like that little touch that makes them feel like they're at home. So yeah, and then we send monthly check-ins and we make sure the invoice is sent. And so yeah, that's the step-by-step, and we get all their information. There's an onboarding survey. So all of their information is held in one space. And if anybody needs any of that information, we go to their client file and it's all there. Okay, so what you should look for in a VA. So I just listed a few good traits. Obviously, these are like your basic, you know, the organized person who works well, but some red flags. If you were to reach out to someone and you didn't get a response from them within 24 hours, I would say don't go with them. If they're too busy to respond to you within 24 hours, they're probably overloaded or they're not very organized. So I would steer clear of that. So if they're making mistakes or they're not really paying attention to what they're saying, that could be another red flag. And if they have no work history and no references, that's something. They may just be starting out, but I would suggest you need to have some sort of reference to know, because you are trusting them with your entire business and you're giving them your passwords and you're allowing them in. So you need to make sure that that person is trustworthy. So if they have a lack of discretion, like when they're speaking with you and they're talking smack about their other clients, you don't want that person. They're going to do the same thing to you. So you want to just steer clear of that as well. And the number one, I think, is go with your gut. If it doesn't feel good to you, don't do it. I'm just going to check here. Yeah, they would. So does a VA in your team use VPN to sign into the client's social media and interact on their behalf? So they would be added as an admin and we would go in and we would post on your behalf, post or comment on your behalf. When setting up a contract, are terms negotiable or do you have a set form and ask clients to sign? Okay, so we have a set contract that lays out a few things like if you're canceling your contract, we would like 30 days notice. We will respond to your questions within this time frame. So those are in our contract, and the proposal is changed per client. So it's always different what they want. And so we change that in the proposal. The contract is just a set piece. Okay. Did I miss any in here? Oh, I can actually forward everybody the template for the idea tracker if they want it. Okay. Next. Okay, so how to find your VA. So what I would do is I would reach out to your network. You know, word of mouth is the best way to hire a virtual assistant. If somebody's had their virtual assistant, they know they're trustworthy, they know their work's good, they know all about them, and you trust your contacts, right? So that is the way I would go. And if you don't have any contacts who have worked with a virtual assistant, you definitely want to get their references and check in on those as well. So yeah, posting on LinkedIn or Facebook, like everybody has their group of entrepreneurs that they speak with and would trust. So I would suggest that route. Or you can go to a freelance site like Upwork and Fiverr. I don't know that they're long-term virtual assistants. I believe you can get those, but most of them are per contract or per project type thing. So that is a great place to look, and they will have their references there as well that you can look up. Okay, so what to expect. So once you meet with the person and discuss everything that you're looking for, they will put together a proposal and a contract and send that to you. And you go over that and you make any changes that you would like. Okay, I don't wish to pay this much, so I'm going to cut back on this piece, and I would like this to happen, and you make the changes. They'll make the changes for you, and from there you move forward. So they'll give you your pricing and terms, and then once everything's signed and you're ready to go, you'll have your onboarding meeting. So this is where you give them all the information, like your branding, if we're doing social media, your passwords, if for whichever programs that you're using, or add us as admins. And then we're set to go from there. So depending on your company's needs and the skill level of the virtual assistant, you could be looking anywhere from $20 to $100 an hour, specifically because $100 an hour is going to be someone who's like a web designer. You do have to pay more for those type of specialized services, but you can find virtual assistants on the lower end at $20 just to do basic admin. So for the most part, though, you're going to be looking around $25 to $45 an hour. But because the virtual assistant is so skilled in what they do, it's going to be like half the time of what it would take someone else to do it. So you're technically saving money. Okay, and that is it. So if you have any questions at all, or just need like some help or tips, feel free to reach out to me. Just shoot me a quick email. We have a lot of freebies too. If anybody's in need of that, we do have a Canva course, Get Creative with Canva. It's free, just if anybody needs to learn Canva. Yeah, and is there any questions?
We do have one in the chat. Do virtual assistants create landing pages?
Yes. Well, not all, sorry, not all virtual assistants create landing pages. In Simple Desk, we do. We have a marketing team. So that would be something you would have to ask the specific virtual assistant that you are looking at. Anything else?
Here's another one. On average, how long does one hire a virtual assistant?
How long?
So about how long would you employ a virtual assistant, or about how long would each session?
Generally, it's an ongoing thing. We look at what the person is looking for, and we would generally, if it's an ongoing task, we would do a monthly fee. But if it's just a project, we would go to the end of the project and that would be it.
Any other questions? I guess we got another quiet group today. Okay.
Well, I just want to thank everybody for coming out. I hope I answered everybody's questions and it was great. Thanks.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for coming today. I will post again in the chat if you would like a copy of today's email recording. Please email me at communications@paro.ca. And as well, if you'd like to learn more about our November 18th Thriving Through Transformation and Annual General Meeting, please go to paroreimagine.ca. Thanks so much for coming, everybody, today. Thank you, Jenny, so much. And everybody have a great day. And I will hope to see some of you at our 12 o'clock webinar.